Video number closing in on 8,000. Still have my color pencils. I still have the same mind. If you go back to when I began in April of 2010, you will see how nutty it all seemed to me. I wasn't in control of promoting my thoughts, of sharing my thoughts with someone that can remind me. I need someone. Why am I here? I need someone to remind me of everything I talk about, because I want to remember. And how is the important level going to come out? By us sharing over and over and over again. And when I see you share and it comes up I like, and you ask me a question, it reminds me. I'm knitting over time, and I'm knitting over time. I'm knitting the story together, piece by piece, of what I said once, of what I have never remembered. What hat? Where? Here? Chapeau. In the water of the heavens creation, of the half-life, of the E-world, spirit of Father. You are your father and your mother. You are the spirit in the house. You are made of all of Mother and Father's spirit. Who is that spirit divine? Only nature. Only nature and science of nature coming together. Not from how did the first one begin, but where was the center between us human beings and the Creator, our God Almighty. He is that He is, because I am that I am. He is what He is. I am who I am that I am. From who is how, and from when is the hen. Taking the Holy Spirits of the earth, the science, heat and cold, all the elements that we can explain and understand what they are. The chicken is 21 days incubation. The duck is 28 days incubation. But the day of life is 3. 7 times 3, 21. 7 times 4, 28. 28 divided by 2, 28 divided by 3, and the days of the moon cycle. Where do all this come from? It's on Google, all over the Google dictionary. Wow, I'm using one symbology, Facebook and Google and Alphabet and Amazon and Tesla. All the things that are passing through my mind, because they're all over the news that they are spread. And at what percentage can you walk into which crowd around the world and say Tesla and somebody will know who they are? Amazon and somebody will know who they are. Will it be in the word Amazon as it is McDonald's? I know Wendy. I know the Windy Day. But do you know Wendy's? Oh, so somebody around the world where the accent sounds like Wendy's, they say, yes, we had a windy day. So now can I mix Windy with Wendy? Believe it or not, to die on this earth is to divide. The 25th letter. 25 is a special number. It's 1/4. It's also 1/5 of 5 to the power of 3. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. That 25 is 1/5. That 1/5 is an expression of Mars, where we now take the cube to its greatest dimension and it's to its greatest center. If we create 4 blocks here, those 4 blocks will cut center. If we do not cut and share center, we will leave empty spaces as so, leaving 4 empty spaces to 5 area dots. It is what it is. The story is what it is. It's being shared. This dimension of this cube, I ask myself a question. Do I need the brick and mortar? As the mortar is the separation from the next brick or the next cube. And are bricks made as cubes or blocks? When a block is not actually a block, when you ask for a block, it's this big. It's not a block. It becomes the whole block. And in between there's an area space. And spaces and holes. There's 2 square holes and 1 hole that looks like a 1. It looks like 0, 1, 0. Saying 20, the house. Binary code speaking. When we mix all of these organisms up, and the organisms are for the better understanding of Amotzi lecha mina aretz in Zion AM 13 213 311 410 410 communication. The Queen divided world of BC W, the 23rd letter. D J 104 104 communication. QW E and I like an what's in E? That's right, E fits into I. What is E? There is 4D around to create the E. Not me. It's right here, my friends. The answers are in front of us. It is what it is, and it's exactly like this. D and E. Because E is only adding A inside D, because the 4 corners, which are also prevalent here, which are completely reverse of 3. Ask yourself the question, why? When you have F, you have H. Dividing of the 7th gate, according to gematria, were split by the G letter in your GAD, because the F letter, which is your 6th letter, right, is actually the 1 letter surrounded by 8. So when you have GAD, or is it the O letter, because it is all 8 around 1, so you now have O, now you have God instead of GAD. And you don't have H when you have 8 around 1. You have the H, you have jihad. But if you flip it to the other side where you only have 6, and look at the size, that I put 6 this way or this way. And because the center on the other side is automatic to both directions you go, you have 1 6 this way and 1 6 this way. We're not going to talk about this way yet, and we're not going to point up, right? We have this way, and we have the halfway is 2, and then this way is 3. Now we have the, right, you have here, the halfway up, and here. That's 3 areas. Okay, now what we're going to do, we have to turn it this way. 4 areas plus the one side it was on was 5 areas. Now if I stick the dice up on this corner, okay, that's another whole one, and that's a big equation because all those dots transfer different. And if you notice, 1 2 3, let me see this, 1, I think this is the corner of 1 2 3, will be the opposite of 4, will be the opposite of 4, and will be the opposite of 4. Why? Because I'm not counting these dots in the center. So 1 2 3 is opposite of 4 4 4. I'm not counting the dot in the center of 5 or the 2 dots that split the 6. So these are stories that I did not make up, but I dissected through the elements that I was given, using the placement of the numeric value of the A, B, C all the way to Z is 1 through 26 letters in the alphabet. And so reversed as to mirrored. And when you mirror, sometimes the last 2 come together as 1 or none. So if I say 1, O-N-E, equaling to 34, I will go E-N-O, equaling to 34. The total is 68. But if we reduce it to one last letter as E, where the 2 E's comes together, and what happens to it? When you put the 2 E's together, look, opposite, flipped around, looks like an 8. At the same time, the 2 arms in the center don't really come together, and that's where you can conclude, if you cut the mirror in half at that point, it would actually look like the difference between these 2 letters is here I went 1 2, and here it has its own box, separate, still on their own, separated by this in between here. And if you take a look at the in between, that's right, it's the I letter. See the top of the I and the bottom's just slivered by a little bit of brick and mortar. Or you turn it this way, and all of a sudden, because the H is not finished on this side, it's actually the H on both sides. You see the way you can see that H right over there? Not talking about the 2 T's that haven't come together on this side, creating your actual F that will turn into your A, and your A is inside of everything. It is in the 5th position of 9 dots, where it's surrounded by 8. The sun in the reverse alphabet is reflected in Venus. 1 2 3 4 5. 5 letters times 27 is 135. 135, the sun and Venus. 3 times 18, 54. Whoa. Numerically, they fit perfectly together. So what have they done? Have they changed positions? because they're perfectly together? Did they go together? Are they opposite? Are they connections? Are they part of? Is it just an element of expression saying there ain't no sun? That's actually Venus. And the Venus is actually a moon planet that is being controlled by the sun, because Venus and Mercury have no moons. They can be the moons of the sun rotating around it. Hello. We're all moons of the sun. We're all rotating around it, right? Aren't we? Well, 28 days for this moon, so I have to fix up my, I don't know the schooling of all this, so I might not say this in order, but I'm opening up that level of thought. That's why I'm here, to open up the level of thought. That's not why I came here. Is that why I came here? Or I came here just for me? When I start thinking it's just for me, I can't think anymore. Hiya, who, hen, when, I don't know where and what, who wears the hat. Where you are is here you are. Shepo. Shepo. I wish I can sing, just show me the music, Shepo. And right there is Shepo. Clean what's inside. Run after the catnip. The NIP nip. The PIN code to what? Some kind of solitude of information knowledge that these cats seem to want to go into. They want to learn, right? Don't bother me. I'm learning. What are you doing, Mr. Cat, learning? I'm licking my fur is what you look at it, but I'm actually picking up micro bits in the air, and I am going to decipher them. First, I will pick them all up. It will drive me crazy to stories. Then I'll go to sleep for 19 hours, and I'll know everything I need to know to transmit it onto you or back into the air. The world changes. Remove a spirit, remove any life at all in wrong formation. When I say wrong formation, this is made up by me because of what I see, is that we connect to every molecule that's around us. And the 7 billion people multiplied, how much can you multiply our thoughts or our surrounding of our body? So imagine we are all the size of our own bodies, surrounding our bodies like an envelope to a certain size. And that touches another piece of ether, that touches another piece of ether. How much area space does a human being take up towards actually looking at another way to look at things? Take a cat, put it in the car, and he's freaking out, he's jumping through the windows. Not all of them. I don't need to know all of them. I just need to know the bipolar of it. I can figure out the bipolar. I can say there's a happy medium. I can base it between the two sides of the happy medium, the higher and the lower. Look at my animal or a subject or a situation, and you should know to a square roundabout what everything is and what's going on. I don't like to stop too abruptly. Not good. So I'm going to bring one of these up again. 4 times 7 is 28. 74 is the numeric value to Jesus. Command and create 33. 77 and 33 is 110 of the Twin Towers. 7 and 3, 10. 7 and 3, 10. 1 plus 1 equals 1. 1 plus 0 equals 7. 7 plus 1 plus 0 equals 8, and the 0 is 6. So we'll now have 14. That's your DNA. How do I do that? What is my magic? Because all zeros equal 6. Here's your 0 on this side where the 1 is, and the opposite side is a 6. What do you want me to tell you? The only thing that difference is the dot in the center that also belongs to the 5 house, which is the reverse of the 2 house, and noted that 52 is Earth's heart. 5 times 2, 5 plus 2. You now have a 10 equaling to 16. Plus the 7 is 23. Now you're in the BC house. Now if you had 10 and 7, you'd have 17. Now when you have 17, that is the Q letter to the gates of heaven. 1 plus 7 equals to 8. 1 times 7 equals to 7. 7 and 8. The 7th and the 8th planet. Earth and Venus. Uranus and Neptune. Because the law is bestowed on us. It is 1, it is 4, and it is 7. But not all 7s are alike. And why is it 1, 4, 7? Because there is 1 month of 28 days. There is 4 months of 30 days, and there are 7 months of 31 days. There's 1 month of 29 days of February, and there are the same 4 months and 7 months. And then for 3 years, in 3 years, before you mirror it or throw the rock, there are 3 years with 28 days, equal to the 84 Pluto. Then when you want to get to 102, 28, 28, 84, 94, 104, 112, right? Now February ends with 113. Bat mitzvah, bar mitzvah, adding 1 to 12 equals to a total of 78. Gates of heaven, and adding 1 to 13 equals to a total of 91. And that is the spirit of AM, because 1 times 3, 1 plus 3, 4 times 3, 4 plus 3 will equal to the number 19, the letter S. And in French, they say that the letter S, okay, the 19th letter, is a reverse in the alphabet to the H, ash. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. So now we have the 19th letter, 10 plus 9. The French say 10 plus 9. They don't just say 19. They say 10 plus 9. They also say 10 plus 8. And they say 10 plus 7. So we have 3 special places other than 10. And my question, if it's other than 10, why wouldn't it look like this? The 1 dot in the center. We can look at it as the top half is 0.5, the bottom half 0.5. 10. Although the top half, okay, is, you have, how many are there? If we would do this the Tetra style, you would go 1, 2, 3, 4 this way, and 1, 2, 3, 4 this way. So you'd have 4, 1, 4 in that cube over here, right? That way we get to split apart and we keep the yin and the yang together. 4, 1, 4. That's pretty cool. That's the exchange. Then when you add this one, everybody gets 4.25. 4.25. This one, hold on a second, 4.50, sorry, 4.5. They get that. But how can you get this if you're coming in on a point, you split it this way? So now you get 4.5. 9 times 5, 45. 9 times 6, 54. Pretty interesting, because that's the number to the sun, which is the number that's connected together to create your DNA, electric company. Bring all those elements and ornaments and lights together. Shock me and shock me and shock me and change me and melt me and make me cold until you got that virus, that germ, and it starts to grow. You weasel up, you create a body that can support the IT system, the universal joint to our system, run with oils and gums and honeys, everything moving until you can just feel the softness on your hands. What's happening in the air to your body? How do we form? How do we form into the aether? I am in the aether. There are many cults of some sort that do all kinds of things. And sometimes we say, why do they do it? If you don't feel it and you don't live it, if you can't physically manifest it, to think you can actually recreate it in your mind, to move your body as a way you're stretching what's in front of you, that force, is it the mind? Or are you now talking to the aether of how you want to feel where you are? And maybe we can lift things. We can actually... So let me go on to the next point. So we did all these things. We showed you the 1, we showed you the 6, we explained to you why the 1 dice where there's 0 around equaling to 0 on this side and the 6 on this side. So what is 0 equals? 0 equals 6, although 1 is the center of all. In the 5 position, and what's passing in that position? Is it actually a pipe that something passes? So what is the value of something that passes? Is it valued at 1? 1 and 6 are the only 7 to what we just spoke of 2 and 5. We didn't talk about DC 3 and 4 because 3 and 4 is a put together from 1 and 2, where 1 is located inside of 5 and 2 is located in every single dice but 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equals 21. Minus 1 equals 20. So without the ace that combine it all, 1, 2, 3, 4, because first, second, third, fourth, standard death, equals to a total of 10. 5 and 6 is 11. Reverse of 1 and 2 is 3. Now we're going to go play pool, and the 3 and the 11 are the red ball. 3 and 11 equals to 14. 14 is DNA. Now we create birth inside the sun, because 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 equals to 5, and 4, 5 times 4, 5 plus 4 equals to 29. I'm not going to the minus side. I'm just going in one direction right now. After we can play and do a little bit of a wave of the creation through the numbers that were created for us to tell the same story of what they told us, but we just never understood until today. So, before I go, I just wanted to finish that this was the gematria way of counting. Okay, there's a whole design to this. Would you like to see the design? Let me see if I got it here. Yes. Design is right here. Sleeping, sleeping. 2 elements, sleeping. The mind transfer. The chicken on the top of the church. I don't know what it all is. This is the binary code right over here. So it ends up over here, the binary code. So how would I do that? Forget, I don't need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I just have to keep doing the formation until one of them fits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Until I get back to the same formation. And I want to be in the center where the cube is. 7 cube. Hold it this way, it's 9. You hold it this way, it's 11. You hold it at the top. I think they say it's 10,000. I know you can't see it so well, but I went on a little bit too far. A little bit too far. The yin and the yang. Thank you for watching. All these images have been created by myself, Ronald, and thank you. Please leave a comment in the comment box. I really appreciate it. We're moving forward in time. The more knowledge we have, the more we build the story of creation and the possibilities of the realm of existence other than sane. But for now, it's just fake news, because it's not news. It is actually schooling of truth of all the elements that have been presented to us that are shared around the world, and they're using of laws, rules, and regulations inside court. Call these the dice cubes. You can use the big red ones from the casino if you want. You can use the cards from the casino, but all these are professional mode, professional design. Just finding what I'm finding. Thank you, world, for being the knowledge of mine today. Raphael, 7286 in the constellation Pegasus.